Because listen, when people know how to stay healthy, that takes away from the income of healthcare and big pharma. Don't cancel me. I hope nobody come try to shoot me.
I mean, no, it's the truth. Yeah, I don't even need to hear this.
Yeah, like honestly and truly, like people, they don't want you to be healthy. The government, the people that control a lot of stuff, they don't want us to be healthy because they're not gonna make any money off of that. Yeah, there's no money in healthy people.
Get your water and keep some wine. I should have had some wine.
With exposure, execution, and consistency, there is nothing you can't do. Just keep planting.
Before we get into today's podcast episode, make sure you go to theresponsiblehomegirl.com and download the free money management guide that I have created for you. Most of the time when people are starting their personal finance journey, they know that they want to do better with their money, but don't know exactly where to start. The money management guide is a great way for you to look at what you have going on right now and to take steps so you can get better. Like, I don't want you to get overwhelmed, like, oh, I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to do this. No, I want you to have a seat, literally sit down, assess what you have going on, and the free money management guide that I created for you will do just that. So make sure you go to theresponsiblehomegirl.com or just click the description, or just click the link in the description box below and go get that. You'll also be on my email list where I'll send out different tips, gems, personal finance stuff, business stuff, all of the Responsible Homegirl things. So make sure you click that link, download that free money management guide, and get your personal finance journey started because, baby, inflation, I'm feeling it. Hey y'all, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode on the Responsible Homegirl Podcast. I am Kiani, the Responsible Homegirl, and this is a space that I have created so young adults can become financially responsible and wealth conscious. So the way that I do that is by 1, sharing financial education, and then 2, interviewing amazing entrepreneurs who are building their wealth through business. So if you have been rocking with me for a little while, you know that I have a series on my podcast called Think Like a Mogul. And Think Like a Mogul is where I talk to entrepreneurs who are either from South Carolina or live in South Carolina so I can expose people to the greatness that we have in our own backyard. So today we have Miss Kalene. So we're gonna be having a conversation about, how she grew up, her mindset, her business, and of course, how she thinks like a mogul. So thank you for being on the podcast.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Of course. So I always start off the podcast with asking my people, can you tell me an irresponsible financial decision that you've ever made? Y'all, I hope y'all saw this eye roll. If you're watching on YouTube, you saw the eye roll. It was strong.
Okay, this is very embarrassing. So I got my first credit card the end of senior year of high school. Why did my parents sign me up for a credit card at 18? So at that point I was like, okay, I have a decent established credit. I really don't have much credit. You start applying for the little cards, right?
Right.
So you go to the store. I love TJ Maxx. They were like, oh, do you want to apply for a store credit? And I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna get it. I got it. I think I had probably like $300 or $500. When I tell you, just about every other week I was shopping.
Wow.
Running that cart up. I had so many boxes and shipments coming to my dorm sophomore year. For why? Just to go to class? I don't know.
Right.
Ran that cart up. Ended up not being able to pay it off. Card got sent to collections. I was able to pay that fee, but I was just like, that was so unnecessary.
Right.
Like if you were gonna get a credit card, get it for something useful. You literally got it to shop at TJ Maxx, buying things that I don't even own to this day.
Talk about it.
So yeah, I still cringe at that. 'Cause I'm just like, oh my God, why? But
I feel like that story isn't really unfamiliar though, especially because they use this tactic of like, oh, get this 10% off, or do you want to apply for blah, blah, blah. And me personally, I'm not a huge fan of store credit cards because you can only spend it at that store instead of like a Discover or a Navy Federal or something like that. But thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Those of you listening,
don't do that.
Don't do that. I mean, I always start off the podcast like that because, of course, my brand is the Responsible Homegirl, but I didn't just arrive here. I made plenty of irresponsible financial decisions, but when you know better, you do better.
Exactly.
So
I learned from Kalene though. I literally, y'all, her emails if you're not subscribed. Subscribe, because literally I'm just like, I'm learning so much from someone. I didn't learn this from my parents. I didn't learn this in school.
Yeah.
So thank you. And I share your page with my sister, with friends. I'm like, if you're struggling with finances, please follow her.
Yeah.
Because, like, I don't know.
And these are conversations that we don't have. And the sad thing is, when I was in college, girl, my refund checks, I just used to blow through them like crazy.
King Street.
But like I said, exactly, King Street is I'm not gonna say it's the devil, but honey, when you got thousands and thousands of dollars,
yeah, it's just sitting there,
and you don't know how to manage your money, it becomes your best friend. And I just wish that growing up we had more conversations about money, because we become grown adults like us, work jobs, start businesses, get this money, and don't know what to do with it.
Nope.
But splurge,
spend it, or like, okay, pay bills. I have this much left, I spend it, and now I wait for the next thing.
Exactly. It's a never-ending cycle.
Yeah.
But Kalene, for the people who's listening who do not know who you are, can you tell them who you are, kind of how you grew up, and what led you on your entrepreneur journey?
Yes, so my name is Kalene Parker. I am the owner and founder of Cut by K Fitness, LLC. I am a certified personal trainer through National Academy of Sports Medicine. I'm an exercise physiologist. I got my bachelor's in exercise science. So all things health, fitness, wellness, that is me in a nutshell, okay? I'm not a health freak though, okay? I understand life balance, but I grew up in Columbia, South Carolina. I grew up around athletes, so my sister actually went to UNC Chapel Hill for soccer. My brother went to Spartan Methodist for soccer. My dad played football at Fort Valley State. Like, my mom did cheer, she did track. So I come from a very athletic family. I didn't play sports though. I did dance, piano, clarinet, FBLA, student council. So like complete opposite of that. Yeah. But I was still very active. And so from that, my parents did not let us just sit in front of screens all day long. We were not eating candy and drinking juice all day long. Like, my mom was cooking home cooked meals. Yeah. I was one of those fortunate families where my parents packed my lunch every single day. So we were having like spinach lettuce wraps and like salads and like all these things. My friends at lunch were like, can you tell your daddy to make me a wrap? Like, that was that kid. So that's kind of how I grew up. Coming into college, I pretty much still kept some of those same like health practices. I hated dining hall food. It used to make my stomach upset. So I actually did not gain the freshman 15. I think I lost more weight freshman year. My parents were like, what is happening? I was like, the food's not good. So I made sure, like, when I went into upperclassmen years, I got like a dorm that had a kitchen where I could cook. Yeah. And so I started off as a bio major. I had no idea what I was doing with that. I did not like it. I switched to exercise science on impulse. Still didn't know what that was, but I was like, I'm just gonna navigate this. Yeah. Really didn't feel like my advisors were that helpful, so I literally navigated the degree on my own. But in that, I kind of found my own footing. So I started doing step aerobics class, TAing. So I was a TA for that. If you went to College of Charleston, you took that class. It was like a lot of fun. I started doing youth gymnastics coaching. I had an internship at a CrossFit gym, and I was like kind of still doing my own workouts. Like, in college, I would have an 8 a.m. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and after that, 3 times a week, I'd go to the George Street? What's that apartment? Yeah, George Street apartment. Yes, I went to that gym 3 times a week, and I would work out, and I would run a mile after that. Wow. I did that by myself, literally for like probably 2 or 3 years. Wow. And just for the sake of it, because I knew like I needed that for myself. And then I did 5 years at school, so my 5th year is kind of when I really got into like fitness. So I started doing like jobs where I was like coaching. I had my internship at the CrossFit gym, and I was just like, oh, okay, like this is cool, like sure, whatever. I graduate thinking, well, it's fine, I have a degree, I'll get a job. Like, no, that did not happen. So I spent an entire year after college, moved back home for 6 months. I was trying to navigate post-grad and unemployment. And being like, 23, 24, didn't know what the heck I was doing.
People don't talk about that.
Seeing everyone else get, accepted into grad school and getting these big jobs and moving to new states. Yeah. And here I am, still in South Carolina, back at home with my parents, not a single job offer. Yeah. Like, for an entire year. I have a notebook. I literally probably applied like 150 jobs. Wow. And I would either get turned down, or the ones that did accept me were like retail jobs. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to grow from retail. So I decided to come back to Charleston, and I was like, at that time, I knew that the one thing I could control was like my health. Right. So to like not get into a dark place, I kept going to the gym. I was like, okay, well, I get up in the morning, read my Bible, I'm gonna go to the gym, I'm gonna apply to jobs. That was literally my life, my regimen. I literally had no life after college. That's all I did. And then I studied for certifications, came back to Charleston, and I started freelance training friends. So I had a couple of friends, couple of my line sisters. I was like, hey, I will train you for like this amount or for free. Let's like do all this stuff. So shout out to my friends who let me train y'all in 2019 because I didn't know what I was doing. But y'all let me just kind of like go for it.
Yeah.
And it kind of brought me where I am
You need
today.
that support.
You do. You do. And so I'm super thankful for that community. And then after that, was still navigating trying to find income because that wasn't like super consistent. And I only did my first corporate gym job here in Charleston in 2019. Did that for a year and I hit the ceiling already. So if you guys don't know a lot about personal training, they don't really pay trainers a lot, but they expect you to be up at 4 or 5 a.m. training. It's early mornings, late night. So it's like a very unconventional job schedule. It's not a 9 to 5.
Right.
And I was like, I cannot do this long term. Like it was like I hit burnout. Turnover is super high because a lot of people go into training because as a coach, as a trainer, it's like an attractive job. It's an attractive like field until you actually get in it and start doing it and you're like, I don't get paid enough for this.
Yeah.
So I did that for a year and I loved it. It definitely taught me how to coach, how to command a room. It taught me how to project my voice. It taught me how to like do form cues and like coach people because you can have the knowledge base, but if I can't teach you how to do a push-up, that I can't coach you.
Right.
If I can do it myself, but I can't teach you how and like the why behind it, not a good coach. So it did help me a lot there. It helped me a lot there. No shade to anybody, you know. But
it is what it is.
Yeah, I hit the ceiling and I literally talked to Dre and I was like, hey, I'm gonna quit my job because I have hit the ceiling, I'm burnt out, and there's literally no other way for me to make more money. In the gym space, for certain gyms, the trainer is paid based off the membership. So the only way you can like increase your salary is if you get more people to sign up. It has nothing to do with how good you are, how smart you are. And then other gyms where you actually have like clientele, like stuff like Gold's Gym, stuff like that, they take a percentage of what the trainer gets from clients. So you're working there all these hours and you still don't get your full amount. I said, I cannot do this because if I'm up early, I'm taking the time to like further my education, but I'm not getting compensated for it. Like, is this even worth it? Like at one point I literally hated training.
Wow.
And I was like, I can't do this. I wasn't getting my own workouts in because you're coaching so much and then you get home, you want to crash. So it was like, do I take a nap or do I eat? Like, what do I do in between this time? I'm not even going to work out. Like, there's no way.
Yeah.
So I got tired of that like cycle. And I was like, you know what? I feel like God placed it on my heart to just start my own thing. And I was so terrified, but I was like, okay, Lord, I'm gonna step out on faith.
Yeah.
Don't let me fail, please. Don't let me fail. So I quit my job in Halloween 2020 was my last day working there. And I navigated what I wanted to do that November. I LLC'd myself December 2020. And here I am.
Yeah.
So it was rough because I will say in that component of that, started training, had some clients at the beginning of 2021. Now, when you're an independent trainer, you have to figure out how you're going to rent space out of a gym to take your clients there because you can't go to Planet Fitness or Goals or anything if you're not an employee of that gym. They will kick you out. So you don't want that.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, oh, can you meet me at PF? Can you meet me here? I'm like, no, I can't do that because I don't work there.
Right.
So just trying to find like a gym owner who would let me rent space out of their studio, trying to find clients because they also make you sign a non-compete. If you work for a gym, you cannot, they tell you, okay, well, if you ever quit, you can't take any clients with you, or if you work here, you cannot train outside of working at this gym.
Wow.
So they like try to limit so much for you. And I'm just like, no, it's not what I want to do. No, you just feel like so stuck and so confined to like rules.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not doing that. So I got some clientele, was navigating, finding a space, lost all my clients in June 2021.
Wow.
So I was like, oh Lord, okay, I gotta get an actual job now. Like,
So why did you lose the clients? Was it because of like just
finances? They just couldn't afford it anymore.
Gotcha.
Yep. So everyone's like, I want to keep going, but just payment. And that's the thing. Like personal training is a very high expense, and that's just kind of like the way the organizations are set up because you are doing so much for people.
Right.
We like to consider ourselves, what is it called? Like, we're not like frontline healthcare workers, but preventative healthcare workers.
Yeah.
So it's like if you can get a coach to help you navigate exercise and learning how to eat right and like good healthy habits, it kind of prevents you from having to go to the hospital and taking medication and all this stuff. So it does come with a cost. And I mean, like, it's worth the investment though, because everyone that I have been able to help has been like extremely grateful for like, you know, the role that I played. But no, yeah, I lost everything like last summer and I had to get a regular job. And
was that humbling for you?
It was very humbling because I got fired 2 weeks into working that job.
Oh my God.
Yes.
With inflation going crazy right now, it is very important that you learn how to manage the money that you work so hard for and budget well. Make sure that you make your budget a part of your lifestyle. I know that sometimes budgeting, we can kind of have our own little feelings about budgeting, or we just simply don't do it, or we don't consistently do it. Well, lifestyle budgeting is going to tackle all of those mindsets, all of those things that are stopping you from developing a lifestyle of budgeting. If you want your personal finances to do something different, if you want them to look different, you have to do something different. And the basics is budgeting. Make sure you click the link down below and download the 2022 edition of Lifestyle Budgeting. Let's get right back into the podcast episode.
It was one of those situations where I morally did not agree with the culture of the job.
Right.
I didn't clash well with the manager. When it comes down to certain things in health and fitness, I don't believe in everything. So I'm just some things I feel like people are selling to scam people, or just promoting this big weight loss dream and this high ticket price, but it's not sustainable.
Yeah.
And I don't like that, because people really don't know, and it's attractive. The person's bubbly. It's oh my gosh, come buy this thing. And they're okay. And I'm looking no. When I'm teaching people stuff. So yeah, I got discharged after 2 weeks, and then I was all right. And so literally from July to October, I had zero income last year, zero.
Wow.
And then I was just okay. My very last check from working at that job, I invested in a business coach. And there is a program that specifically works with personal trainers. It's called MPE Fitness. So if there's any trainers out there who need some guidance with how to navigate business in PE Fitness, they literally, it does come with a cost, but it's worth every single penny. They teach you all the systems, they teach you contracts, they teach you how to price, and the reason why, they teach you how to make an offering, they teach you how to promote yourself and how to stand out, really how to niche your target audience.
Right.
And so I was okay, this is my last check from here. I got bills to pay, but I also need this business to start.
Come on.
So I invested in myself, and that was the best thing I could have done, because when I tell you, this year I have made more money working for myself than I've ever made working for anybody else. So
I love that.
Bet on yourself, guys.
Yeah, and take the risk.
Yes.
So much from that I want to unpack.
Okay.
So, for one main thing that really stood out to me is just your mental strength. Because I cannot imagine just going through all of this stuff, getting a job, losing the job. Okay, I'm putting myself out there, getting these clients, then lose the clients, then get another job, lose that job. Yeah. Girl, how do you literally stay mentally tough? Because I feel that's a very important part of entrepreneurship that's not really talked about a whole lot.
Well, first and foremost, I stayed in my Bible. When I tell you sermons, prayers, I literally every single morning.
Yeah.
Because I'm sitting in my house crying, God, what is going on? I have a whole degree. I feel I did all the steps. I did all the things in college.
Check all the boxes.
You know what I mean? I'm why am I not an ideal candidate? But looking back now, I'm he was preparing me for this season. I just didn't see it yet.
Yeah.
So my faith definitely helped keep me grounded. Another component was I've had horrible bosses. When I tell you horrible bosses, and I was just I want to get to a point where I grow my business so big that I can hire on a team and be the best employer they've ever had. Pour into them, because the things that I didn't get from employers, give people a chance. If you have a skill set that can help my business, I don't care how much experience you have. If you're willing to work and put forth the effort, I want to give you a chance. So I wanted to also be a better boss in some component. And I also just know that just following people on social media who have grown their own, I'm why not me? Why can't I do that? They literally are from where I'm from. They're from the South. They're from South Carolina. They went to school here.
If they can do it, surely I can.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was really one of those situations, and I was just and look at how they live. Not that material things are everything, but I have a certain mentality or a certain vision of how I want to live, what kind of house I want, what kind of car I want to drive, things like that. So I was I am not going to get there working these 9 to 5s for these people, because it's they cap you sometimes at how much you can make.
Right.
And as an entrepreneur, the earning potential is endless if you really just tap into the things that are going to make you marketable and the way that your brand can connect with people. So definitely just being inspired by other people's businesses, my faith, and then wanting to be the boss that I never had. Those three things, I was like, we finna make this work. Like,
I love that so much.
So
the second thing that really stood out to me is your integrity. Like, seeing how people put this high ticket price on certain things and say, oh, you need to do this for this big weight loss journey. And I feel like one thing that I really love about your Instagram page is how open, honest, and transparent you are. Like, I feel like sometimes it's not even really about the exercises that you're doing, it's more so about the mindset. So even if I'm going through something and it's not really about workout or my physical fitness, it's still about changing mentally. So can you talk about that and how you are intentional with putting that message out there?
Girl, I literally just be talking. Like, to be quite honest with you, sometimes like I'll lay in bed or I'll have a conversation with a friend or a conversation with Dre, and I'm like, I'm gonna post about that because it's just like, that's literally just like my own thought process, or just like the way that I feel about something. And so if I'm super passionate about something, or it's something that I think people should know about because they don't, I'm like, let me just share this. And sometimes I limit myself in what I share because I'm like, nobody cares about that. But what I
stop it.
No, literally, because I literally made a post 2 weeks ago about walking, the benefits of walking, because people think like, oh, fitness, if it's not this elaborate thing, I'm not weightlifting, I'm not doing all these things, I'm not super shredded, I'm not super sweaty, it's not beneficial. And I made a reels while I was walking, I was just talking. I got so many shares from, and I was like, what? And it was literally that moment, I was like, stop sleeping on yourself, because like, all social media is just sharing information, just sharing what you have. And I think sometimes because I see so much fitness, because I curate my page to follow other coaches, I'm like, somebody already saw that, but I'm like, no, your audience hasn't seen it yet, or you might deliver it in a different way. So I just be talking. Like, I don't know. It's like, I don't like strategically think about it. I'm just like, that would be interesting to know, or like something profound, or even like a devotional sometimes will like translate back to exercise and fitness. And I'll sometimes like correlate that, like the same way scripture talks about this, you have to still approach your health and fitness in that manner too. So trying to like embed my faith in it too sometimes. So
you're just being you.
And
I think that's very important. Like, just be yourself. And I feel like the way you pour into other people is because of the way you pour into yourself consistently.
I'll be trying.
Got to, girl, got
Thank
to.
You.
So we talked about the start of Cut by K Fitness. Now talk to me about growing it. What did you have to do to put yourself out there, to market, to really get people to take you seriously as a fitness and wellness coach?
This episode is sponsored by Kikoff. Kikoff is one of my favorite credit building apps because they don't have any interest. They do not check your credit score to approve you, and there are so many benefits that you get, and they report all of this stuff to two of the major credit bureaus, TransUnion and Experian. So if you know that you are looking to increase your credit score, you need a little boost, you need a little help, download the Kikoff app and create your account today. Another thing that I really love about this app is they have something called a credit building loan. So you pay $10 a month into this loan, and at the end of the year, you get your full $120 back. Y'all, that is literally unheard of in the credit building space. So take that into account, and if you are looking to increase your credit score, make sure you go download Kikoff. No interest, no fees, no none of that. $5 a month to build up your credit score. Click the link below and create your account today. Now let's get right back into the episode.
Okay, so I made a whole new Instagram like in 2019 for my fitness page. I was terrified. I was like, people are gonna be like, girl, bye. Like, what are you doing? But it got so much great feedback, so I was like, okay, cool. And I think what it was too was already establishing myself in the corporate gym space. So I know some people, like, I'm in a lot of Facebook groups for people who have the same certification that I do, or like other trainer like support groups. And people are like, oh, I just got my cert. Like, how do I start my own thing? And I'm like, maybe like work for a gym first. Like, sometimes you have to start at that level just to kind of like establish yourself. So working in a corporate gym space for a year, people know me from that. People have seen me train. They've come to my workouts. They've come to my boot camps. So I kind of like already established like, okay, she's a trainer. Obviously she's legit. She had to like be legit to work at the gym. And so now like going off and doing my own thing, it's like, that makes sense now. So I would say definitely working kind of like from the ground up. I don't think if I hadn't gotten that gym experience, I would necessarily be where I am now. So
that's interesting.
Yeah.
Why do you think that though?
Because I don't think I would have grown as much as I did. Like I told you, working there, like it helped me, one, like learn how to be confident in coaching.
Okay.
Because it's one thing to be like, all right, do these push-ups. But like, I worked in a boot camp gym. So having to project my voice in a gym of like 20 people in a class with music going, they want you to be entertaining. So thank God for my cheer background, because I like jumping around. They want you to do all these different things. So it taught me how to multitask. It also teaches you how to break stuff down into like dummy one-on-one version, because like I can tell somebody all the muscle groups, all the movement patterns, the reason why it's beneficial. Don't nobody care about that.
Right.
In a quick 45-minute workout, I'm hot, I need to lose weight, I want to get fit. I don't care. Tell me.
And I want this to be over.
Right. Fix it. So like learning how to like dumb things down for the general population to understand.
Yeah.
When you go to the doctor's office, when they be talking to you or the mechanic, they be talking, I'm like, I don't care. Tell me what's wrong. How do I fix it? So it definitely taught me how to do that. It taught me how to, I guess, navigate social media in a sense too with like training. So I definitely put myself out there. I would say 2020, I was offering free Zoom workouts every Saturday that I posted on my social media. I got a website built through Wix, and I had like the free email listserv coming out. So just like putting out information, like even now I still have that listserv. I'll sometimes send out like nutrition tips, I'll send out fitness tips, words of encouragement. I'll send out like trainer form technique videos, or just like different ways. Like I just actually sent out a free guide yesterday of how to navigate health and fitness on a budget, because some people think like, oh, I can't, like, oh, if I can't afford gym membership or personal training, like, I can't do it. I was like, no, there are so many free options and other affordable options. Like, let me compile this into like a PDF. Boom, here you go. So I would do stuff like that. And I'm trying to think what else. Like just the gym that I worked at is like a huge franchise community. So I think like being a part of that, people kind of start to know you. People travel, and like when they travel, they could come to the Charleston location to work out if they had one in Florida or North Carolina or something. So building those connections, people like exchanging social media. And even like doing like community workouts too, so stuff outdoor, just doing a lot of free work.
Yeah. And it gave you time to experiment too.
Exactly, to see like what I liked, what I didn't. So because I did that for so long now, people want free stuff now. I'm just like, no, you should have caught me in 2019, because I cannot work for free anymore.
Open that purse.
Yeah.
Open the purse.
But yeah, just doing a lot of free stuff and just like posting on social media, which was the most cringiest thing ever. Like when I tell you the first workout video that I ever posted, I go back and look now, or like stuff on Facebook, and I'm just like, ugh. I'm like, oh my God, because it was just, it obviously just looking out your growth, and I'm just like, but Alf, you have to do that.
Yeah.
Just start there, and then like you grow and you elevate. And I'm like, ooh, thank God for growth, because goodness, what was I doing? What was
Did y'all hear what she just said? She said, just start and grow from there. Literally, just start and grow from there. And even me, like I look back at some of my old content, I'm just like, girl, shut up. What are you talking about? But 2 years ago, people was listening to that, and they thought it was valuable. But the more you show up and the more consistent you are, you automatically get better. So Kalene, what do you think is the hardest part about being a trainer?
Getting up at 4 a.m. I would definitely say early mornings, because like today I've been up since 4, and I need to take a nap at some point. But getting up early, I would also say dealing with difficult clients. So you can't help everyone, and I've learned that the hard way. As much as you can pour into someone, as much as you can try to help them out, whether that be financial. I've helped people out with finances, like creating a payment plan, stuff like that. So I'm like, I don't want fitness to ever be something that they can't attain because of your financial situation.
Right.
So, but sometimes even then, people are just, if they don't want it for themselves, there's literally nothing that I can do. Nothing that I can do, because I've had people who work with me and they leave and they see no results because they didn't do
the work.
Aside from coming to the gym. Like if you come train with me twice a week, that's like less than 10% of your entire week. What else are you doing outside the gym?
Right.
And then I have people who literally come 3 times a week, but they're literally cranking it out, moving outside of it. They're tracking their food. They're eating health. Like they're asking questions.
Yeah.
And this is in person and online, because that's the kind of, I offer both of those training services. So just like trying not to be hard on myself and feel like, oh, I failed because I didn't help them reach their goal. It's like, no, you still gave them tools. So hopefully now that they're done working with you, they will implement that, or maybe they can connect with another trainer and now they'll remember what you said and kind of learn from them.
Yeah.
or, you know, maybe not. I don't know. But it's just like having to like let that go, and it kind of releases a lot of unnecessary pressure on myself. It's like they come to you for a reason, you help them in that season, and then sometimes people stick with you and sometimes they move on. And like either way, it's okay.
Yeah. I feel like that's something that I'm struggling with right now, because I feel like as a teacher, I'm kind of like in control of their outcome and results. And even my older sister, she's like, Kiani, no, like you don't control that. You control how you show up, how you hold them accountable, how you do X, Y, Z, but you can't control if somebody actually puts in the work. Yeah, so that definitely just helped me a whole lot.
It's like when you go to school, you go to class, sure, you get the notes, but you have to study. You cannot just show up to the test and like, oh, I came to class every day and sat there and the info just like magically embedded into my brain.
Right.
So it's the same concept.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I studied public health in college, for those of you who don't know. And a lot of people, they always say like, oh, so you're not using your degree, blah, blah, blah. But I actually am using my degree. So my last year in college, I did like a capstone on the interconnectedness between health and wealth. And how a lot of the things, like I would say like environmental things, social justice things, the reason why people live in poverty or just go through a whole lot of stuff that kind of negatively impacts their health is because of their wealth or lack thereof. So on your journey with health and fitness, starting your business, have you seen any like relationship or any connection between health and wealth?
Yes. So unfortunately, a lot of Black people in our community that inquire can't afford it.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are the ones on medication, the ones that like really needed help.
Yeah.
And then our white counterparts, yeah, sure, okay, go in, already like coming in. I wouldn't say like they're the most fit, but they're not as far gone as some other people can be. And I'm like, okay, because like I obviously want to help everybody,
right?
But of course, like my heartstrings pull to my people, because I'm just like, we need that education, because that's not readily available in a lot of like predominantly Black communities,
right?
But I have noticed, yes, a lot of the times it's because they cannot afford it, or they don't know how to cook healthy food because they're on a fixed income. So it's like, okay, well, I have food stamps, or you know, I only have this to shop, I have my kids, it's going to be easy for you to get Pop-Tarts and like frozen lasagna than like fresh produce or even like frozen produce.
Yeah.
So like I really try hard to like teach people how to still like navigate healthy eating within the confines of their budget. So I very much attest to that, because a lot of times too, those are the ones that have to work many hours. They can't even commit to personal training or going to like a group fitness gym like Orange Theory or something. Like I just don't have the time to go. I'm working 2 jobs, or I'm working like a 12-hour shift, and when I get home, it's like, okay, get my kids, sleep, maybe eat, and go right back to work. So it's like the time of the day doesn't even allow for them for activity, or they're working at call centers, you know, just sedentary all day long. And I'm just like, I don't like that for our people, you know? But
and I even think about my hometown, my environment. Like, if you've ever been to King Street, you know, like our main highway is literally fast food every single place. Like, all we have is fast food restaurants, Chinese restaurants. Like, you're not going to see a tropical smoothie or a smoothie king. Like, you're not going to get healthy options. So I even think built in the environment has a huge impact on our health. It's almost like we have to take responsibility for it, which is not a bad thing, but at the same time, it would be helpful if we had those things around us.
The resources. You essentially become your environment.
We can go on and on about that, on and on.
It's like they're purposely trying to kill us. You know what I mean? Like, someone made a point. They were like, how is it that you literally can find a churches and a Popeyes in every single hood? Like,
in a liquor store.
In a liquor store.
Yeah.
In the hair store. But it's like, the most like readily available gym you might find is Planet Fitness.
And I think it's a lie that our people don't want to work out, our people don't want to be healthy, our people don't want to be fit. Like, I'm not believing those lies.
No.
I do agree that it can be kind of hard and difficult, especially if you're working low income jobs and you have to work multiple jobs, finding the time. But I don't know. I don't have the answers, but I definitely appreciate us having this conversation, because it may just sow a seed in somebody's mind. Like, maybe I can go for a walk or do something.
Walking is free 99. If you have a safe place to walk, go walk. Get a group of friends. I actually had shared this resource on one of my emails. I'll have to send it to you. Actually, let me see if I can find it. It is a walking community. It's Black women like created it. And they actually have groups all over the U.S. and they just get together and go walk miles.
Wow.
Let's see.
I love that.
Walk.
Because it doesn't have to be hard. And I know me personally, I know that I need to live a healthier lifestyle, and I won't dare give you an excuse. However, I just don't think that the gym is fun. I don't think that the gym is fun.
Okay, let's talk about that for a second. When I find the resource, though, I'll send it to you.
Okay.
Okay, this is another, I guess, challenging component navigating as a trainer. I actually had one of my online clients that finished with me back in April and didn't necessarily do like the best, but she literally told me, she was like, she's like, I need like a group setting with loud music. I need something like someone leading me. I said, okay, so group fitness. Everyone's not gonna like the traditional method of training, like going into a gym, lifting weights, because for that to see progress, you have to do the same thing all the time. Some people wanna do yoga or Pilates or Zumba or boxing or dance, like step aerobics. That's become a huge phenomenon.
Yeah.
I'm like, you don't have to do traditional training. Obviously, if you have certain goals, yes, that's gonna be like the best route to go. But if you enjoy spin, cycling, go do that. It really doesn't matter what you do. You just need to move. And so I think some people think, well, like I don't do the gym, and that's like what I love about my job at MUSC is that like I help people navigate like, hey, the gym isn't for you, or you might not be in a physical state where you can like do anything in the gym right now. Let's go do something else instead until we can get to that point. Or if you don't like it, you don't like it. Some people love it, I love it, but that's not everybody else's truth, and that's okay. I just want people moving. Like
recently I started pole fitness, which is super fun because it has loud music, and I was looking for a pole fitness studio, and it just happened to be owned by a Black woman, which is even better. And I feel like since going to pole fitness, I have seen how weak I am because using your own strength to pull up your body and do these twists and turns and dances and all sorts of stuff, it's hard work. But I enjoy it. And I mean, my last session, this is probably like only my third session, but I've been going consistently like 3 times a week. And, you know, I'm just starting it out.
I want to see the content. I need to see this content.
I'll show you a video, girl. But I really think it's important for y'all to find something that works for you. So like you say, you can just move. Because I think we need to live long, healthy lives.
I mean, in the state of the world, you might not want to live that long, but it's like, you know, there's still so much good happening. People want to have families. You want to be able, a big thing that I hear is that people like in their 30s who have become overweight, they're like, my kid is 2. I want to play with my kid long term. I don't want to be that mom that's like, you go, honey, I'm just going to watch. Like, I want to get down in there and play with him and not be winded or not have like arthritis or have all these joint issues. Because a lot of people that I end up seeing at MUSC, a lot of their issues is they have developed all of these degenerative joint issues because of weight. They have so much body fat that it's like pressuring, like crushing their joints. And it's like making it unstable, you know, or they have issues now where it's like so much weight, now the bone is grinding on top of the bone. So it's like, you don't have the ligament there is like no support. And they can't even walk upstairs. So I'm like, don't get to the point where you can't even do basic movement like walking. Don't let it get to that point. If you are able-bodied and you don't have any physical disabilities, you can go for a walk.
Absolutely.
30 minutes. 30 minutes.
Another thing that I want you to touch on is eating, because that's another thing that I struggle with, and I'm pretty sure I got some other homegirls out there who struggle with eating as well.
Let's talk about nutrition.
Please give us a little crash course.
Really, really quick. So the best way to navigate your nutrition is, I would say, stay away from processed foods. If you can cook your food at home, eating produce, lean meats, and whole grains, if your diet consists of that and water, you're doing fine. Now there also comes a point of like overeating and undereating, which is why I like to tell people in the beginning to track your food. So tracking your food is literally just a way like you would budget out your money. And I told you this is your food budget. So say, for example, I have a goal, I want to gain lean muscle mass. I'm probably going to want to be consuming between like 1,900 to 2,100 calories a day. So by tracking my food, I input that, and that shows me, am I hitting that goal every single time? Am I getting enough protein throughout the day, which is really going to help maximize lean muscle mass and burning body fat?
Okay, so quick question. Time out. So if I'm cooking my food at home, let's just say I'm doing some chicken breast. How do I know how much calories that is?
So most tracking apps are going to give you like a generalization of it. Some apps you can also scan the barcode on your packaging. So maybe not for like chicken, but like say you have like frozen chicken breast, like frozen salmon, you can scan that on the barcode. It'll like pop up for you based on like the store. So that's actually the one that I have. So like I'll just show you really quickly for an example. I track food here. So go back. So like you could scan it. So say like I used the pancake mix and I wanted to like scan that in. The picture comes up to the side. Eggs are eggs, like
that
general.
is
So you
cool.
put that in there, and then it'll show you like the calories that you consumed, how many protein, carbs, fats. These are your like 3 main food group macros, and then it'll show you also like how much fiber you're intaking. So it's just like really cool just to kind of look back. I didn't track any of those days, but yeah, just like putting that in there, and so then that way once you've kind of put it in and you track for maybe like a couple of weeks, you can stop tracking because now you can eat the same way and know what you're getting.
Right.
So stay away from processed foods, stay away from eating out all the time because you can't control what ingredients are going in there, how much, and you also don't know like, okay, what's the serving size of this? Because you know the USA, they're gonna pile it up on your plate. Most meals, entrees, probably 2 people could share the average entree in this country. And so yeah, just focusing on portion size, quality ingredients, and drinking a lot of water. We live in a society, people want juice, they want energy drinks, and they want to drink alcohol. Now,
get me.
I enjoy OJ for breakfast. That's cool. Fresh squeeze, fresh pressed juice is fine. You want to look nutrition labels. That's what it is. Learn how to read nutrition labels.
Teach us.
So nutrition labels, you first of all want to look at the first 3 ingredients. That's going to tell you what the majority of that food item is comprised of. So if you read the first 3 ingredients and you cannot pronounce them, chances are it's a lot of like unnecessary gunk in there. It's a lot of processed components. Then you want to look at like how the calorie size or amount of calories per serving. So if you're snacking on something and most people don't like portion out. So you know if you get like a bag of chips or crackers, it will say like 7. That's a serving size, and that's how many calories, how much fat, carb, whatever. But people aren't measuring that out. They're eating probably 5 servings within a sitting, and you've probably eaten like 1,000 calories worth of a snack just sitting there, just munching. So learning how to read the food labels, also understanding that everything that says organic or fat-free or sugar-free or whatever is not always healthy, because when they take that component out, they have to put something else in to help with the taste. So that was actually something y'all gotta get on my email list because I'll be dropping some gems.
I definitely need to be in your email list because the whole organic thing, I feel like that became like such a buzzword. And like, and even Walmart has like just like an organic section, and you'll go to that section thinking you're getting something healthier.
How is an organic boxed food item? How is that organic if it's processed? Organic means natural, homegrown. Like if your grandparents have like a fruit tree, you go pick that thing. That's organic. Because listen, when people know how to stay healthy, that takes away from the income of healthcare and big pharma. Don't cancel me. I hope nobody come try to shoot me.
I mean, no, it's the truth. I even need to hear this.
Yeah, like honestly and truly, like people, they don't want you to be healthy. The government, the people that control a lot of stuff, they don't want us to be healthy because they're not going to make any money off of that. There's no money in healthy people. No one needs medication. No one needs these extra appointments. Every time you go to a doctor's appointment, even if you didn't get anything from it, they're charging they're billing your insurance. They can't do that if you don't go.
That, what you just told me though about like just portion size and just eating in general is about intentionality. And I feel like we really have to create space for that, because someone like me, I can easily use the excuse like, oh, I'm too busy. But just like I plan everything else, I can plan my meals and plan what it is that I'm going to eat.
Meal prep. That's another thing. So a lot of times people are busy. You're working, you're a parent, you have school, you have other things going on. So when you get up in the morning, if something's not prepared, what do you usually do? You either don't eat, or you go swing at the fast food and grab something quick, or you might like pick up a piece of fruit or something. But if you already have it prepped, pop it in the microwave or have it in your container, take it to work with you so you can heat it up. Same thing for your lunches, same thing for dinner. I know personally, I do not like cooking multiple times a week. I will cook breakfast every morning because I do have like the flexibility to do that, but dinner, No, we cook one time and we eat leftovers.
Yeah.
And so for that, again, because you've already tracked your food, you know how much you consumed on Monday. If you eat the meal on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I know I'm eating the same calories, I'm getting the same amount of protein, carbs, and fat, same amount of fiber, and I just drink my water. It makes it so much easier. You take the guesswork out of it. When you're tired and you come home from a long day, you pop that mess in the microwave and sit down and reclaim your time.
Yeah.
Like cooking or trying to scramble to like think, what am I gonna make today? That's stressful.
Do you feel like we make healthy living harder than what it actually is?
Yes. 1000% yes. Because people like, I love the questions, but sometimes like people ask me the same questions over, and I'm like, okay, I don't know how many ways I can like answer this, but I think sometimes people want something a bit more glamorous. They want just, it has to be something else, and I'm like, it's not.
It's that simple.
It really is that simple.
Yeah.
And it's like, are you? That's it? Yes.
This conversation is reminding me so much about personal finance. And I'm happy that we're having this conversation because I definitely need to take my health more serious, because it's really just about planning. Planning out when you're going to get active, planning out your meals, planning out what you're going to eat.
Set it in your calendar like a schedule that can't be missed. You have your work meetings, you have dates with friends, schedule in your exercise.
Yeah.
Even if it is like, get your friends to do it with you. Like, hey, there's another component too. I read this article and watched this YouTube video. They said the reason why adults become so obese and so overweight is because we lose the sense of play that we once had as a child. As a child, we go on play dates with friends.
Yeah.
As adults, we go out and drink and sit and eat.
And go to brunch.
We're just sitting and eating and drinking, and we're not being active.
Yeah.
Like, you can do all of those things, but hey, like, let's go take a class together. Let's go on a walk. Like, I've done things where I'll go walk the bridge with friends. Like, hey, let's go get brunch after we walked. Something like that. Like, combine it in some aspect. Like, and again, it's also the community that you keep, the people that you keep around you. Like, if everybody's sitting down and everybody is just like, doesn't want to do anything, you're going to slowly start to morph into that, and you're not going to do anything else. So it's like, you be the person to initiate, hey, yo, let's go do this. Because I think sometimes people might want to, but they're afraid to do it alone. They don't know where to look. You also don't know if you will even like it, but you have to try it out. And I always think trying new things with friends takes away like that anxiety, the nerves of it, and then you're like, okay, cool, this was actually fun. I want to do it again. So, play more, play
more. I love this so much. Thank you for this conversation.
Absolutely.
All of the good gems. Before we get into our soul food section, though, can you please tell my people where they can get on your email list at? Because, honey, I need all of the gems.
Yes, so I will send it to Kiani, but you guys can go to www.cutby, but it's KUTXKYfitness.com, and the little bubble will pop up. Join our email list, and you can like type in your email there. Yeah. And then there you go.
And I'll also make sure and put that in the description box as well, because I really want us to be healthy and whole. And like I said, one of my goals is to always help young adults become financially responsible and wealth conscious. And being wealth conscious is deeper than just the dollar sign. Like, you can have all the money in the world, but if you're not healthy enough to do anything with it, what's the purpose? So health is definitely wealth. So I will challenge you all to take your health more seriously. And I'm also preaching to myself. So
yes, if the pandemic did not teach us anything, it taught us that they don't care about our health. They don't want you to know about health, and that a lot of people that had underlying health discrepancies were the ones that it hit the worst. So
no matter the age.
No, literally.
Because we often think just because we're young and in our 20s, and I'm saying this because the majority of my audience are in their 20s, that we have all the time in the world to play catch up or make things right later. Like, no, take it seriously now.
Yes.
Take your finances seriously now. Take your health seriously now. Take your mental health, your physical health, just all of the things in pursuit of just being a whole person.
Habits. Because what you do now is going to carry on with you when you're 60. If you think about our parents and grandparents, like, I wish when I did this or that, don't be that person.
Child, woulda, coulda, shoulda. My mama always said, don't be that woulda, coulda, shoulda person. When you can literally do it. Just do it. So now let's get into our soul food section, which I'm a little scared because the reference is to soul food, but hey, I'm gonna just be myself. So y'all listening, y'all know I'm from King Street, South Carolina, and I love soul food. Please don't get me.
It's okay, I do too. It's all about balance.
Right.
Balance.
So, I love soul food. Come from a family that can cook really well. So, with our soul food section, just tell me the first thing that comes to your mind.
Mac and cheese.
Question. Dang, girl, you didn't even let me ask.
Oh, I thought you were talking about food. I was like, yeah, macaroni and cheese.
So that's your favorite soul food dish, macaroni
Absolutely.
and cheese.
And if it's not right, I'm gonna fight you.
Oh,
Like,
absolutely.
So, you know.
It has to be right. Okay.
I jumped ahead, my bad.
No, you're fine. You're fine. So our second question, I feel like right now we live in a time where it's very microwavable. People want things in a rush, instantly, in a hurry. Even I'm guilty of it. Can you tell me a time where something in your life had to slow cook in a crock pot?
That's a good question. Like, how it was worded. Like, oh, the visualization.
Yeah, girl.
I would say my personal patience.
That's a good one.
Patience. And it's funny because when you pray and ask God to help you work on something, they always say, be careful what you ask for, because he will be like, all right, bet. Boom, here you go. So yeah, that entire time of me navigating post-undergrad, I didn't know. I was just like, okay, I'm doing all the things.
Yeah.
What is going on? He was like, be patient. I was like, why is it that I have so much time in my day? I can take a nap whenever I want. I can go work out whenever I want. Y'all, I wish I could go back to that time.
Yeah.
You know? And it's so funny because Dre literally said, he was like, I feel like God's preparing you for something and he needs you to rest for a year. Because y'all, and I kid you not, that corporate job that next year, I was up at 4 a.m. every single day, Monday through Friday, for an entire year. Just boom, 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 boom.
Wow.
So that rest and that patience, because also in college, I did a lot. I was very heavily involved on campus.
Very active.
And
the it girl, for sure.
And I was just like, that was another thing too, like coming out of that and then having nothing. I had lost my identity in like the things I did in college. I was like,
yeah,
who am I now? Like, what do I do? And so I had to like relearn myself and relearn my purpose and understand patience and understand, Kalene, just because you have a degree don't mean somebody's just gonna hand you a six-figure paying job, because that's what I thought.
I am telling you, like, that literally speaks to my soul, and that is what prompted my relationship with God, because I had my identity wrapped up in so much stuff that really did not matter. Like the clothes that I wore, the fact that I was so involved on campus. I had this internship. I was in New York. I went this place, that place. And the fact that I graduated, applied for all these jobs, and got denied from every single one. I'm just like,
did you know, look at my resume?
Do these people not know who I am?
Go ask somebody about me, okay?
And I feel like that's another thing. People don't really talk about that post-grad depression. We have this false sense of security that just because you have a degree, that means you're going to be successful. And
because
that's not
how
true.
We're taught.
Yeah,
it's not true. And I'm like, we have to start telling people, like, no. And it's okay. That doesn't mean that you failed.
Right.
That just means you're a real adult now. You know?
But I'm so grateful for that process. So grateful that all that stuff didn't work out, because like now I birthed like just something, you know, so much greater.
Better. I don't know if you remember a meme. It's like a little kid holding a teddy bear, and then like God's holding, well, the Americanized version of Jesus is holding a teddy bear, and a bigger one behind it. It's like, give me that. Yeah. Because I have something bigger and better for you.
Absolutely.
On it.
Love that.
Yeah.
So our next question, the itis. When you eat some really good soul food, you know, you just want to be laying on the chair, you're tired. Tell me something that you're sick and tired of seeing in regards to either money or business.
Oh gosh. Could it be, does it have to be like business practices that I do, or just whatever? Could be anything. Okay. So I'm gonna say something in the fitness industry. Okay. The fitness like mentality. People thinking that you have to do so much cardio to lose body fat. I'm sick of hearing that. People literally like, oh no, I need to go run all these miles. I need to go do all these, like just on the treadmill, the Stairmaster, all these things. Yeah. No. Because here's a little gem for y'all. When you build lean muscle mass, your body tends to burn body fat and calories even while you're sitting down and resting. So the more lean muscle mass you have, the more your body's burning while you're at rest. Now, cardio does burn fat and burn calories, but it's going to be a little bit different in the way that muscle mass is going to do it. And people want to look a certain way. Right. You're not going to build your physique running. People, never mind, I'm going to say that. But just, You're not gonna build your physique running. Let's just be real. You're not gonna get like a 6-pack running or just doing cardio. You have to build muscle. Like literally when you're molding clay, you have to mold it into the shape. Like if it's just sitting there, it's just sitting there.
So when you say build muscle, are you referring to like strength training and like lifting weights and stuff?
It could be strength training. You could do that from cycling. You could do that from dance.
Okay.
Pole fitness, because you were lifting your body weight.
Child,
that's just like doing push-ups and pull-ups. Like you're still doing something to put stress and load on your muscles.
Got you.
So that's tearing down the fibers. When you're sore, they're repairing to build up to be stronger. And you tear them down again, and they build back up. So that's how you build muscle, by putting load and stress. The fibers rip apart. They come back together and build up to be stronger, more defined, more, definitive, all the things.
This is the content we need, y'all.
So yeah, like you literally you don't have to do so much cardio, because at that point too, you're just like pounding your body, you're pounding your joints, you're so exhausted. It's not productive. Cardio is great in its place, but that should not be the only thing you focus on when trying to lose body fat.
Gotcha.
And it's just education. People just aren't educated about it, and I just get tired of hearing that. 'Cause I'm just like, no, come on, guys.
Stop misleading the people.
Yes, because also, like, if you cannot lift your suitcase in the airport, we need to have a conversation.
Absolutely.
Like,
yeah,
just basic things, opening a jar of pickles, or like moving boxes from like to and fro. Like, we have to be able to do things.
Yeah.
Defend yourself, carry your groceries in one trip from the car to the house, like picking up your children.
Yeah.
Moms, y'all carry around those freaking heavy behind car seats.
Child.
Like, you have to build strength too, and all of that. Like, just go look at powerlifters, go look at bodybuilders, go look at people who were legit strong. Those people have pretty low body fat. They're not doing a bunch of cardio.
Right.
They're lifting. They're doing something to like train the muscles.
Yeah.
Even like yoga and stuff like that. That's like components of strength training. So yeah, I just want everyone to know you don't have to do a bunch of cardio to lose body fat.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
Absolutely.
So our next question, the go-to. All of us, we have our one go-to soul food meal that never disappoints. What is your go-to that helps you be inspired and motivated to be the businesswoman that you are?
I would actually say it's someone that I follow on Instagram.
Okay.
So there is, I don't want to say Instagram trainer because she's not. She's amazing. Her name is Kiera Freeman. She and her husband have literally built an empire.
Yeah.
Like, when a friend of mine sent me her account probably 3 years ago, and I started following her and just watching her growth. They have their own clothing brand. They like create workout programs. They have clients. Like, they just recently purchased a gorgeous home because they have grossed millions in their business from literally being authentic, from teaching people the proper ways to train and to eat,
right,
and not going along this like influencer route of teaching health and fitness. Because of course, like, they're an attractive couple, like they have huge followings, but they like did it from authenticity and being genuine. And that's why I feel like I'm drawn to them, because I'm just like, y'all aren't coming with the fluff. Like, y'all are so freaking educated. Her husband has like a master's degree in exercise science, and he's like a strength and conditioning coach. He like trains people to then go on to try to go like have draft days for like professional sports. Like, she has degrees and all these certifications. Like, they are so educated.
Yeah.
And that like inspires me, because I love seeing people who know what they're talking about do well.
Right.
I hate seeing like the fluff. Like,
and it's a lot of fluff online.
Because it's attractive.
Yeah.
And people don't do their due diligence to try to figure out anything else. It's like, oh, they got 1 million followers. They said it must be true. Here's my debit card. Like, yikes.
Yeah. And that doesn't mean it's true at all.
Exactly. So I support literally all their launches. I'm like buying their, like, yes, I have some of her programs I've done for myself. Like, they're amazing. And so it's crazy. It's so crazy, because my people that send me her page are like, yeah, I see you being like this in a couple of years. That's so freaking like inspiring, and also like makes me emotional, because I'm just like, the fact that somebody sees someone else that inspires me is like, oh yeah, like, she makes me think of you, because like I feel like you're on and I'm like, oh,
just keep going.
okay, like, and obviously not to like emulate, but it's just like seeing, they're also like a Black couple too, so just like seeing that. And I'm just like, me and Dre try to do our thing. I'm like, boy, come on, get on this wave. Like, you gotta, it's marketable. So like that definitely, for sure. For sure.
And that's one thing that I do love about social media. I know social media gets a lot of like bad rap, but It can be very inspiring, and it allows you to see what is possible, especially when you like feel spiritually connected to somebody and you see like they're not out here lying, scamming people, but they're actually being their authentic selves and being honest. Like, it really allows you to see what is possible with integrity.
Yep. And I'm happy. Like, I don't know these people, but I'm like, every time they have a win, I'm like, yes, like, you earned that. Like, you worked for that, you deserve that. So I'm like, congratulations.
Right.
Like, you know, like, I love it. So
Absolutely. So last but not least, that's good. So, you know, once you take a bite into some soul food, if it's real good, you're going to say, that's good. Can you close out our episode with some words of wisdom for either a current entrepreneur or an aspiring entrepreneur?
I'll touch to the aspiring.
Okay.
I will say a recent sermon that I actually listened to was saying that the ideas that you have or that have been placed in you, whether or not you had it 10 years ago or had it current, it's all part of like God's way of developing you. So all of the interests and the hobbies that you have those interests and hobbies for a reason. Don't ever like count yourself out and think like, oh, that's dumb. It's like, no, God gave you that skill set. He gave you that hobby or that talent for a reason. Right. If you have a business idea, he also planted that idea inside of you. Now it's up to you to pray on it and let him guide you and say, okay, here's this idea that I have, God. These are the things that bring me joy. How can you marry and couple the pair so that you can get the glory and that I can have a successful business?
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I take my approach to business. And I was like, I don't know what this space is supposed to look like for me, but I was like, okay, Lord, you put your hand in it. You gave me the idea for it. Like, whatever way you see fit that I can help people and serve, show me how to do that. Absolutely. And I feel like every single entrepreneur, you're serving people. Whether you're cooking, whether you have like a clothing item, whether finances, like hair, like you're serving someone, you're helping somebody in some capacity. So yeah, just let them use it. Don't try to like mold it in the way that you think it's supposed to go.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Because as entrepreneurs and creatives, sometimes we can get in our head because we have tried to do a thing ourselves and it didn't work out and now we're discouraged. Yeah, that's good.
Let go and let God.
Let God be God.
He wouldn't bring you this far to leave you for